conspiracy to frame Trump turns out to be more devious and diabolical, Sean, than I think anybody imagined. And today's documents further implicate Barack Obama as deeply embedded in the hoax, pressuring Comey to clear Hillary Clinton of her email crimes, then joining the scheme to push the phony collusion narrative that Clinton instigated, and then, of course, engineering the fabricated FBI case against Trump. You know, Obama could have stopped it. He could have told the truth. He didn't want to do that. So it's a stunning window into how Obama's CIA and FBI were run by corrupt actors like Comey, Brennan, and Clapper, key players in the conspiracy, and they all plotted and connived to sabotage Trump, along with Democrat Party officials, we learned today. Of course, the bogus dossier and two cybersecurity firms doing their dirty work. Then later, Obama directed his intel pals, let's manipulate and alter the intelligence to justify what we've done, using the fake dossier to supercharge the hoax. Sean, they abused their power to target a political enemy, Donald Trump, and they weaponized the law to destroy him, and they did it all without conscience.
Hey, welcome into Courageous Media. Thanks so much for joining me here. We have got a great show for you today. Just more follow-up. We're going to be covering this story until we get to the end of it. So whether it's every day or every other day, every time there's breaking news about Russiagate, about the Russia collusion hoax, about the attempted coup that the Democrats and the deep state tried to foist on the American people as they tried to forcibly, without firing a shot, however, take over the federal government when Trump was elected in 2016. We will continue to cover that. But we've got breaking news today. We've now got confirmation that there are eyewitness whistleblowers. This is starting to get very, very rough and very dangerous for those co-conspirators that are involved in this thing. Now, again, Obama still has his presidential immunity that will have to be pierced in order for him to be fully held accountable for this. But there is no presidential immunity for Brennan, Clapper, Comey, McCabe, Strzok, Page, Susan Rice, Clinton, all the above. All of those are facing some serious jeopardy right now. And if for anything that Clinton did or that Obama did after he left office, there is no presidential immunity for that either. So we'll see what happens. But I want to dive into this story because now we know that there are actual whistleblowers, eyewitnesses who are telling their story to the DOJ. Before we get into that, please smash that like button. Subscribe if you haven't already. We really appreciate everybody rolling up. Let us know you're here in the comments. All right, let's dive right in. This was posted. We've also got a video about this. So now we know that CIA whistleblowers have come forward basically saying they were threatened to go along with the Obama-directed Russia hoax, that the memo came down from the office of the president to change the ICA, and that their supervisors going all the way up to Brennan and Clapper basically stood on them and said, you will issue a new ICA, even though they tried multiple times to let everybody know this was bogus, that there's no fact here. This is absolute fraud. So let's check this out. We've got a video of actually, there's 20 now. We have 20 CIA and FBI whistleblowers. This is absolutely amazing stuff. Devin Nunes was on this one. Check this out.
Good morning, or good afternoon, everyone. I recently confirmed that on numerous occasions, the intelligence community incidentally collected information about U.S. citizens involved in the Trump transition. Details about U.S. persons associated with the incoming administration, details with little or no apparent foreign intelligence value, were widely disseminated in intelligence community reporting. Third, I have confirmed that additional names of Trump transition team members were unmasked. And fourth, and finally, I want to be clear, none of this surveillance was related to Russia or the investigation of Russian activities or of the Trump team. The House Intelligence Committee will thoroughly investigate surveillance and its subsequent dissemination to determine a few things here that I want to read off. Who was aware of it, why it was not disclosed to Congress, who requested and authorized the additional unmasking, whether anyone directed the intelligence community to focus on Trump associates, and whether any laws, regulations, or procedures were violated.
Well, we now know clearly that laws, procedures, and regulations were violated. We've now got 20 FBI and CIA whistleblowers that are corroborating all of the documentary evidence that Tulsi Gabbard has released from the Durham Annex and from other things. One of the questions that obviously remains is, where the hell was Durham on all this? We're going to get to that at the end of this video.
I've asked the directors of FBI, NSA, and CIA to expeditiously comply with my March 15th letter that you all received a couple weeks ago, and to provide a full account of these surveillance activities. I informed Speaker Ryan this morning of this new information, and I will be going to the White House this afternoon to share what I know with the President and his team. Before I get to questions, I want to say that, as you know, there's just been a...
So now that we've got whistleblowers, all this information is coming out that goes all the way back to 2016. It goes all the way back and ties up all the loose ends. Do you remember when Trump went on one of the news programs and said his campaign is being spied on, his home is bugged, his phones are bugged, and everybody laughed. They laughed at him. Oh, he's a fool. Oh, he's paranoid, blah, blah. Come to find out, now that we know, now that we've been through 8 years of this nonsense, we now know that yes, absolutely all of that was true. 100% of it. And it began with Clinton. It began with Hillary Clinton wanting to accomplish two things: distract from her own serious federal crimes when it came to the mishandling of classified information on an unsanctioned, unsecured private email server. 30,000 counts of which, destruction of evidence, evidence tampering, obstruction of justice. Hillary Clinton should have been in prison for 50 years. One of the reasons she wasn't was A, Trump's magnanimity, because even though he said in the debate you'd be in jail, I don't think Trump ever really thought that he would go that far. Because I think in his mind, Hillary was just a corrupt individual. He did not know the depth, the levels of the deep state that confronted him, and just how ugly and dangerous this metastasizing cancer was. Otherwise, it could have been different. The other reason was because he spent the first 22 months of his presidency battling this nonsense. So Hillary Clinton started it in an effort to do those two things: distract from her own private email and sink Trump prior to the election. Neither one of them worked, even though as part of that, they obtained FISA warrants to spy on Papadopoulos, Carter Page. They obtained information on General Flynn. They went in full-blown investigation and entrapment operations. They tried to take Trump down before the election. That didn't work. After the election, it switches to Obama. Obama picks up Hillary's conspiracy, her hoax, her fraud, her illegality, and he entrenches it officially into the deep state with presidential authority. Now, it was already entrenched in the deep state because Hillary was working hand in glove with Clapper and Brennan and Susan Rice and others in the deep state. But Obama basically made it official. He made it official White House U.S. government policy that the collusion happened, that the collusion was real, that they helped Trump, and that Trump was, quote, illegitimate. Now we've got whistleblowers coming out to that effect. DNI Tulsi Gabbard posted this just not too long ago. New whistleblower reveals how they were threatened by a supervisor at CIA to go along with the Obama-directed Russia hoax intelligence assessment, even though they knew it was not credible or accurate. So now we've got eyewitnesses. Check this. Here's another document to that effect. Russia hoax whistleblower threatened. This is as of July 30th. For 6 years, a senior intelligence official battled political and bureaucratic resistance in efforts to expose the manipulated intelligence behind the Russia collusion hoax. On Wednesday, DNI Gabbard released new trove of documents which provide firsthand account of the intelligence community whistleblowers' relentless efforts to expose the egregious manipulation and manufacturing of intelligence. Now we've got eyewitnesses in the CIA that are pointing it right back at Obama's face. Now, again, he still enjoys presidential immunity, and he could certainly make the argument, in court that, hey, this was all part of official duties. I may have gotten it wrong. We may have gotten that, in my opinion, based on the assessment, the assessments that I saw and other things that I pulled together from other departments that weren't part of intelligence. We needed to issue this. You could get away with that, maybe. But if they can pierce the presidential immunity and say that he knowingly committed an unlawful act, then immunity doesn't apply. Supreme Court's already verified that. For example, a president cannot commit murder and say, I did it as an official duty. No, not if you knowingly knew it was wrong. You can't go out and personally do that. Supreme Court's already determined that. So now we've got serious evidence being stacked up against the Clintons, the Obamas, Brennan, Clapper, Comey, Strzok, Page, all of these people. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens, especially now that Bondi has essentially impaneled a grand jury in Florida, not DC. So this will be tried in Florida. And it is quite possible that Judge Eileen Cannon of the Mar-a-Lago document gate, who basically said, at every turn thwarted the Democrats based on actual law and real jurisprudence, could be the one that handles this new impaneled grand jury and the resulting case. This will be very interesting stuff. Really appreciate everybody rolling up. All right, please smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, turn on those notifications. Even if you already turned them on, go check them because YouTube likes to turn them off. And if you like the content, please share Courageous Media with everybody that you know on all your socials.